Hi everybody, welcome back to Self-Care Sunday. Today is episode 12. Thank you for joining me. That means that we've been doing Self-Care Sunday for 3 months already, which, I don't know, that's just crazy to me that it's been that much time already. If you're watching this live, or if you're watching it tomorrow, which is Monday, please be aware, if you live in a similar area to me, you know who you are, please check your local weather. There's going to be some really severe weather tomorrow on Monday, potentially some of the worst weather that we've seen since 2011. The conditions are just really right for hail and potentially even tornadoes. So make sure that you have your weather emergency safety plan in order, and if you're planning to travel tomorrow or you have a lot of activities outside your home, just make sure that you're being safe and you have what you need in case of severe weather. So now that we got that out of the way, yes, and you can find more information online on your local news sources. But now that we have that out of the way, we'll move on to the more fun, exciting, good portion of the evening. And we're going to start out with our virtue of the week, and then we'll move on to our little activity. Yeah. Okay. So the virtue of the week this week is enthusiasm. And I think that's really interesting because enthusiasm often feels like something that just happens to us and not something that we can control necessarily, and faking enthusiasm isn't really a great way to go about it either. But we'll read a little bit more about it and how you can bring more enthusiasm to your life in an authentic way that's not going to feel kind of gross and icky and fake. Enthusiasm. What is enthusiasm? Enthusiasm is being cheerful and happy. Enthusiasm is doing something wholeheartedly with zeal. Yeah, that sounds right. Zeal and eagerness. It is giving 100% to what you do, holding nothing back. Being enthusiastic is being excited about something and looking forward to it. It is not something you do, but the way that you go about doing it. You can be enthusiastic about going to school, taking out the garbage, or going fishing. Enthusiasm is when you bring cheerfulness to whatever you do and give it your best. Enthusiasm makes even the dullest job fun. And then it talks a little bit about, like, what's the point in practicing enthusiasm? But I feel like it kind of already described that. Enthusiasm brings a lot of fun to your experiences, and without it, it says, without it there is no excitement and no passion. People who lack enthusiasm are passive. They hold back, do things grudgingly, and do not give it their all. You wouldn't get things done as well. People would accuse you of having an attitude problem. I must admit, I've had somebody, well, probably more than one people accuse me of having an attitude problem in my life, but that's okay. We can't be perfect all the time, right? And then everything becomes boring to a person without enthusiasm. A person without enthusiasm becomes boring too. Okay, so how do we practice it? Enthusiasm is an attitude. It comes from inside. You let yourself get excited about what you are doing and what you are planning. You become enthusiastic by thinking about how enjoyable something is going to be, or thinking of ways to make it fun. You cannot make yourself excited about everything, but you can help by using abilities you have within you. You can use your imagination to find the excitement in things you do. You can think of new and original ways to do it. Another way is to picture the results of what you do before they happen. If you are cleaning out a shed, picture what it will look like when you are done. Imagine how pleased people will be when they see it neat and clean. Enthusiasm is taking time for simple pleasures and enjoying the wonders of life. You can show your enthusiasm towards others too by celebrating with them when something wonderful happens. You show enthusiasm in your smile, the excitement on your face, and saying things like, "Wow, this is great." Showing feelings of enthusiasm gives other people encouragement. And signs of success. Congratulations, you are practicing enthusiasm when you Let yourself enjoy looking forward to something. When you give 100% to what you are doing, when you think positively and look on the bright side of things, when you smile, laugh, and enjoy what you do, and when you think of imaginative ways to get things done, and when you enjoy the wonders of life. Keep trying. You need more practice when you keep cool, refusing to be excited about anything, hold back when you do things, get bored a lot, think negatively and look on the dark side of things, or frown, complain, and have a miserable time when you do things. So we don't have to love doing everything that we have to do, but I also think it's important that a lot of times, like I said, with the previous page, people might say, oh, you have an attitude if you're not being enthusiastic, or they might put you down for that. But in a similar vein, I've also had people tell me that I get too excited about things, or that I am just like, my way of self-expression is kind of very large. I have a really hard time like hiding how I feel on my face, and so I think that a lot of people can kind of tell just how I'm feeling just based off of looking at me, and I can't really hide that, and that's okay. But people will often criticize when you have very large emotions or feel very, very deeply, and that is something that is about them and not about you at that point. It's about their ability to handle things and not about your ability to be. And so if you're excited about something and you want to talk about it, find somebody who's willing to listen. And if there's nobody who's willing to listen, there's probably somebody on YouTube who wants to listen to you talk about what you're passionate about. But there's all kinds of things you can be excited about, and it's okay to be excited. And I think that oftentimes, like, feeling really deeply, we kind of try to not do that, but letting yourself feel excited is a part of enthusiasm, and there are a lot of people out there who will really appreciate your enthusiasm and your excitement about something. So let yourself have a little more free reign with that enthusiasm. Our affirmation for today is, I am full of enthusiasm. I give 100% to whatever I do. I use my imagination. I am open to the wonders in store for me today. Yeah. So there it is. Enthusiasm this week. It also, sometimes these virtues feel a little bit like nebulous and like, okay, I get it, but how do I actually do that? And as somebody who has experience with things like anxiety and depression, I know that sometimes things like enthusiasm can feel really frustrating because we lack that. But I wanted to do a couple little activities today as an example that enthusiasm does not have to be something that is forced. It can be something that you bring to your life a little bit more. So the first example, just because this is kind of something that I've been excited about today and enthusiastic about, so I'm just going to show you guys. I think that fashion, it can be like your own sense of style, can be a really great way to bring enthusiasm to your life. So if you wake up and you're like, I am not feeling it today, like I do not feel good, sometimes just taking an extra moment to put on something that makes you happy and that you like the way that it looks and the way that it feels and that experience can really boost your mood. So think about what items of clothing in your closet really bring you a lot of joy when you look at yourself in the mirror in them. For me, I've got a pair of bright pink overalls. They're like bubblegum pink. Love those. There's also, I'm an overalls person. I have a couple different pairs of overalls with like patterns and colors and stuff on them. But I also have a dress that I had made a painting when I was in middle school of an elephant, and I got it printed all over the dress. And sometimes in the summer, I just like to put that on just because it's like, this was something that I really enjoyed at the time, and the bright colors bring me a lot of peace. But the thing that I wanted to show you guys that I was excited about today is I got this little shirt. My mom got it for me. Thanks, Mom. Sometimes she still buys my clothes. I appreciate that. I got this little shirt from Target, and it has these little sardines on it. And I just think that they're really cute. The little sardines. Yeah. So I'm excited to wear that. Just having like little embroidered fish fish are a part of my thing that I enjoy enthusiastically. I have pet fish. I love them. I also really enjoy painting, and I'm enthusiastic about painting. So here's another example. I did this little jean jacket, and it's got this little rabbit and this little planet thing. I don't know if I'm holding it. I can't see. Yeah. And I've painted quite a few jean jackets. So if you want like a time-lapse video of me doing more of those, I was thinking maybe that could be fun also. So let me know if you think that would be interesting to watch. Yeah, so those are some things I'm enthusiastic about. But I found this little activity. So if you have a sheet of paper and a pen and you'd like to participate in this activity with me, that'd be great. I'll give you a second. Get your paper and your pen. Okay. When you're ready and you have your paper and your pen, I want you to take your paper and take your pen, and at the top of your paper, draw a little boat. And it doesn't have to be very big, and it can be any kind of boat you want. Just draw a little boat. And you can put some water around it if you'd like to. Don't panic about your drawing skills. It's just there as a metaphor. So the idea here is thinking about things like what floats your boat. So thinking about things that you like, that you naturally have enthusiasm for, and that every time you do them, it's really, really easy to be enthusiastic about doing them. So what are some things that you enjoy and that have natural enthusiasm to them? And you can go ahead and write those down below your boat. Like, what floats your boat? So I'm gonna put down the improv. Been really into improv lately. Write down some other things. I'm gonna put aquariums, animals. These could be things like sports, just whatever you've got. Take a minute to write some things down. Music is another really common one that people enjoy. Okay. Do we have some things down? I'm gonna assume you do. Okay. What kind of things did you write down? What kind of things float your boat? These are some of the things that I really enjoy. I put theater, improv, aquariums, animals, music, painting, good food, art, a couple other things. So those are some things that I really enjoy, that float my boat, that I can always feel enthusiastic about. Yeah. And then I want you to think about, like, what are some things that are really challenging for you to be enthusiastic about? For me, that can be things like chores. I don't really love, like, cleaning the kitchen. It's fine, but it's stuff like that, like laundry. I really don't love doing laundry. So thinking about some things that you have to do regularly that just aren't super enjoyable. And then the point of this is to have a list of things that you can be enthusiastic about, and sometimes you can combine the things that you're not enthusiastic about with things that you are. So an example of this might be, I know that I have to do the dishes, so I know I'm going to listen to some music that I really enjoy while I'm doing the dishes, or I'm going to listen to an audiobook while I'm doing the dishes. It could also be things like, okay, I know I have to do this thing and I have to be really present for it, so I can't do anything while I'm doing it. But afterwards, I know that I can be really enthusiastic about good food. So afterwards, I'm going to go and I'm going to treat myself to a really good meal. And trying to balance those things out so that it's easier to be enthusiastic about things can be a really good way to tackle some of the things that are necessary, but challenging. Yeah. So that's my little activity. There was also a poem on the website that I found this activity on, and I am using both of my devices to record this, so I can't access it at the moment, but I will link it. And it was a really funny poem, so go check the poem out after this. The other request that I had for today was that I went to the grocery store with my mom, and she was like, I want you to enthusiastically try this new food that you got. And so I'm gonna do that at her request. I went to Trader Joe's and I got these chili lime flavored dried strawberries. If you've tried these, let me know what you think of them. I have never tried them. So I'm gonna do that. We'll see. I kind of like things that are spicy, so I'm hoping the chili usually isn't too terribly spicy, but we'll see. I like dried strawberries usually. They're usually pretty sweet, so it'll be interesting with the lime. I don't love sour flavors, so if these are like really lime heavy. Okay, there it is. It's a dried strawberry. Okay, here we go. Ah! They're not crunchy. They're like dried out part of the way. Kind of like a raisin. I don't know how I feel about these. They're not bad. I kind of like them. I kind of don't. I don't know. Somebody else try these with me. I want to know what you think. They're interesting because it's like they're sweet because of the fruit. And then they got like a little bit of spice to them. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try them a couple more times before I decide. That's another thing. My mom, when I was growing up, she always said you have to try something 7 times to tell if you like it. I don't know if that's true or not, but it was her way of getting us to try something more than once. And I feel like it's kind of true, because sometimes I don't know how I feel the first time I eat it. And then if I try it again later, sometimes it's more obvious to me if I like it or not. I really don't know how I feel about these. They're weird. Okay. Yeah. There was me enthusiastically trying dried strawberries that are chili lime flavored. On that note, I hope that your week goes good for enthusiasm. Oh, there's one more thing. My mom has been kind of a genius this week. She's been telling me a lot of good stuff. So one of the things that she said was that sometimes if it's hard to be enthusiastic for yourself, it's easier to be enthusiastic for others. And I thought that was interesting too, because sometimes it's really, really hard to be enthusiastic for yourself, but if you have a friend or family member or loved one or whoever, and they have something going on, you can be excited for them and you can be enthusiastic about helping them. And if you even don't have that, there's other opportunities for volunteer work. Like in my area, we have something called Feed My Starving Children. That's a really good organization. There's a lot of volunteer work. You can animal shelters, whatever you're enthusiastic about, there's probably a way that you can volunteer and do that. And if you have extra energy to do that, that's really another good way to be enthusiastic about something. Yeah. Yeah. And being neutral about something is okay too. You don't have to be all in all the time. But if you're looking to bring a little bit more enthusiasm to your life, those are some ways you can try it out. So, on that note, I think I'm going to wrap up and say thank you all for joining me. If you're watching this as the day that it has been posted, please check your local weather. And if you have any insights about enthusiasm, leave them in the comments. And I will see you all next week. Goodbye! Have a good night.